So, this meeting is being recorded. Alan Volunteer spent Friday afternoon with me learning how to set it up and work with it. We also here in Laguna Woods have a video club, and Tom Nash, who has been the president in the past, he's a vice president now, and he also assisted, because he's the one that helped me set this up when we were meeting pre-pandemic, and we used to have 50 to 80 people every month, so everything is kind of whittled down, and with your help, we'll get this ramped up again. Yeah, we'll get all our technical stuff. So in any case, the meeting will be recorded, and we will upload it in the YouTube channel. And I'm going to be asking everybody to share. So when you share, don't name names. Don't say anything you wouldn't want the world to see. Because it is going to go on YouTube. So you don't even have to say your name. You know, but just talk about circumstances, situations, things you want to ask about. So, just a lot. And I want to ask you, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, would you please do that? And when you do, there's a little bell there. Hit the bell, and that means you'll get a notification whenever I've uploaded a video. And also while you're there, if you like it, click like. And share it with a friend. There's a way to share it. You go to the share and you get a link, you copy it and email it to a friend and say, you know, take a look at this. Okay. This is the typical HLAA disclaimer. HLAA Mission Viejo Hearing Well Club does not endorse any single product or service. This meeting is intended to provide information, education, advocacy, and support. And I just assumed everybody knew that I'm Tony and I'm the president of the chapter. Okay. We have a sponsor. Thank you. Thank you. We have a sponsor, Caption Call. And I know many of you, I've installed your Caption Call phones at one time or another. That was way back in another lifetime. That was 2011 to 2014. I was actually installing phones that caption. And they have continued to be a sponsor for at least 10 years. So they provide what is called an in-kind donation. We don't get money, but they pay for the captioner. And who I'm going to show you. So this is the lady who's captioning today. Her name is Jo Gale. And right now, she's in her apartment in Chicago, Illinois. But through the wonders of the internet, and she is captioning for us. Okay, I'm going to go back. So a little bit about Caption Call. They provide a landline phone that connects to your existing phone line, and that phone will caption all your calls. And they'll save the captions for you if you want to. And there's a lot of adjustments you can make, volume control, size of the font, contrast, all of that. What I find to be especially important is saving the captions. Because if I'm taking down a phone number, I just read the screen, and I even ask the caller, is this the right number? And they say yes. I don't have to write it down. It's saved for me. So this service is also available on your smartphone, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. And it's called Olilo. Well, I guess it's a Caption Call mobile app. The beauty of this particular app is that it captions both sides of the conversation. Your conversation and your caller's conversation. So you got to check it out. Check it out. And you can go to captioncall.com, and the toll-free number is there. And there's actually a pamphlet on the information table. So help yourself. All right. So we appreciate Caption Call over 10 years. We actually have another sponsor. I don't have a slide. Oops. And that's Amazing Hearing. And Anne is here. Anne has been the audiology advisor for this chapter. I have to say at least 10 years. At least 10 years. So she's 11 years. Okay, she told me 11 years. So, and we really appreciate, I really appreciate her, because sometimes I'll get somebody who has an issue that requires a professional, because I'm not, and she's right there to help out. And when we're in a meeting together, she will be happy to talk to you and answer any questions you have. Okay, so I like this little cartoon thing. Not all disabilities look like this. Some disabilities look like this. So there are people walking around and they look like just you and me, and they could very well be disabled because they can't hear. So that's where we're at. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about communication access. Communication access helps people with hearing loss the same way ramps help people with mobility issues. So, and it's called accessibility. Accessibility. And there's many different forms of accessibility. And the American Disabilities Act, we have a lot of protections, we have a lot of rights. But if we don't exercise them, we're going to lose them. So, and I want to talk a little bit about communication. Everybody's hearing loss is different, and mine is profound. And even with my cochlear implant and one of the best hearing aids manufactured on the other side, in spite of that, I struggle. Background noise. Sometimes my ears feel suddenly stuffed up, even the cochlear, which shouldn't do that. But so I have issues, and I'm also aging. And when you're aging, sometimes you slow down. Your processing slows down. So that really requires a different kind of communication. So I was with a small group of people the other day, and we were working on a little project. And one of the people who is hard of hearing is also very soft-spoken. And so sometimes people start to lose their voice for a variety of reasons. Sometimes if you had COVID, it could affect your voice. If you have Parkinson's, that affects your voice. And there's other conditions. So this gentleman was difficult for me to hear. And we've got 2 or 3 other people talking all around me. And so it was making it very difficult to understand him. And then I had somebody else talking to me. They did not get my attention. They were behind me. And I didn't even know they were talking to me. So communication is different. So it's really important that we ask people to get your attention first, be facing you so that you can also benefit from body language, lip reading, all of that. So that's a really important part of communication. And the biggest problem is with spouses. I have a neighbor, and I'm surprised he didn't come today. He said he was going to come. And his wife is always talking to him when he's in the other room. And that does not work. Voices don't go around, they don't go through walls and they don't go around corners. So communication is really important. But I want to find out about your communication and where is it in your life that you have issues. Okay, so my mother likes to play bridge, and she has a problem understanding the players. She also has vision problems since she's had to give up card playing. But what is it that you like to do that maybe you've given up because you can't hear? Anybody want to start off? Okay, Linda. I'm gonna ask everybody to use this mic because this mic has a little extra mic on here, and this is how the captioner is hearing.
The first thing I want to say is I love what you did about the disability, that we are not visually disabled, so people do not think we're disabled. I think we also don't accept the fact that we're disabled. I think acceptance yourself of the fact that you're disabled is the most important thing to start getting help, because then you can say to somebody, I can't hear you, you have to repeat. And this happens to me on the telephone every day. I talk to somebody, they do not talk slowly, they have an accent, it's impossible. I will let them finish talking, and then I say to them, I have a very bad hearing loss. You have to talk slowly. You have an accent. It's hard for me. So could you please, it's my problem. It's not your problem. I always say that because that brings a nice feeling into the relationship. It's my problem. But I think we have to see it as our problem and then tell other people about it.
Absolutely. I think probably the most important thing is to start talking about your hearing loss. That way you can find some acceptance. It's not going to happen overnight. And Anne wants to say something. Sure. I'm not going to be able to run out there.
Commenting on what Linda said, I'm reading a book called Healthy Conflict, Peaceful Life. But what it says in the book is that expectations without communication leads to frustration. So this just totally piggybacks on what Linda just said, that if you have the expectation that you are going to hear in an environment that is not realistic, and you don't communicate your needs to the people around you, you are not only frustrated, but the person you're trying to communicate is going to be frustrated. So I really appreciate what Linda said, and part of this group is about getting the nerve for some people to be able to talk about having this invisible disability and getting out and getting support. That's why you're here and trying to gather more people to support each other so that you do feel comfortable. I'm just going to say vision is about 15 years ahead of hearing, right? So you're wearing glasses. Everybody accepts that you're wearing glasses. Why don't they accept the hearing? And the thing is that more and more research is showing that we lose our vision in our 40s and 50s, and we lose our hearing in our 60s and 70s. And so 20% of the population has a hearing loss at the age of 60, and 68% of the population has a hearing loss at the age of 70. So in the 60s, it's our there's a lot of factors, but the bottom line is there's a lot more acceptance because they're less visible, they're better working, but the bigger part is communication in this group is really what's going to help you guys the most.
Okay. And anybody else want to make a comment about what they've stopped doing or areas where they wish things were better? Yes, Randy.
Should I stand up maybe? I have to say, I'm over, okay, so I have to say I really enjoy music and I enjoy songs. And it kind of dawned on me. I went to see this ABBA fan concert. And I said, you know what? I don't understand a damn word they are singing. And, you know, some songs are very meaningful. And it was like it kind of really dawned on me at 73. Look at all the words I've been missing out on the music. I mean, I enjoy the singing. I can really tell, you know, as far as I can see I can hear the range. I can hear the different parts of you know, of a tenor, you know, or a baritone, but I cannot really, for the most part, unless it's in the lead part of the song, you know, that's the sentence, I can really get the words that kind of add on to the music. The other thing I would say is, you don't mind, I have this device here. This is my loop. I'm happy to hear in conversations, but like anything else, it's not perfect. If we're like, say, maybe we 10 people talking in this room at the same, you know, several different conversations going on, I could probably hear it. If I went to my congregation and if there are a lot of people, I could, and I can give that person you know, I can say, hi, I have a severe hearing loss. Everybody I go to in my congregation temple knows I got a severe hearing loss, and it severely impacts me. I cannot understand some of the words to the song, you know, and stuff like that. And it's a real kind of heartbreaking for me. Thank you. I can probably go on for a while, but I appreciate listening. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, hold on. Linda. Hi, Linda. What do you want to say?
You mentioned you have a loop, and you held it up. What is that?
Yeah, what is this? Well, okay, this is, if I turn it on. Okay, okay. I come up, let me walk over here. Walk a bit faster, get an exercise. Okay, so, if I turn this on, and perhaps, and there were like 10 people in the conversation, but just say you and I, then they were talking. And you could put on on you or next to your voice, you and I can have a conversation together. So right now it's off. It's not useful because the microphone is working just fine.
That's connected to your
Yes.
hearing aids? Is it Bluetooth connected?
Well, okay, let's say it this way. The Bluetooth, that's correct. The Bluetooth connected. It also has it connected. If I want to just do Bluetooth also, I just want to have a regular conversation with somebody. Maybe you want to fill me in? Okay, the lady who convinced me to show this to me. Okay, go ahead, take over.
Okay, so Randy has rechargeable hearing aids that do not have a T-coil built into it. But this room is looped. And so by having this microphone, it allows him to turn on the T-coil or have a T-coil in this room. It has another function that if you lay it on a table, all 4 mics come on, and it's for small groups like playing bridge or a Bible study or a book club or a family, so that when one person is talking at a time, all 4 mics come on. When you wear it around your neck, it has a gyroscope in it, so then it's only forward facing. So then just one person, he picks up the one person in the noisy restaurant. This isn't made to be used in a noisy restaurant on the table. It would pick up too much sound. But when you wear it around your neck, then it helps pick up the person talking would be wearing this. I would wear this, and Randy would hear my voice right into his ears. But this is through Widex, so this is a different manufacturer. But what he was talking about with the T-coil is that you have the ability to have the T-coil in this room, even though it wasn't built into his hearing aids. So does Oticon have something like that? Somewhat similar, yes.
Mm-hmm. I would just say
I
one
just
thing.
don't want to hog.
Okay. One more thing. Okay. All right. You say the longer I use this, it draws power from the hearing aid. Okay. Thank you.
Alan, could you take this to Natalie? Oh, right. You're so much younger.
Thank you. How is that different from the Connect clip?
Different manufacturers, different functions. Similar.
So it would be better than the Connect clip around for a small table?
So she's asking about her manufacturer uses something called a Connect clip. This manufacturer is called a Sound Assist. Different manufacturers, different functions. So it's somewhat similar. Similar, but not the same.
Anybody else have any questions about that? See that the new hearing aids, newer hearing aids, Oticon Widex in particular, have all these wonderful features that so many haven't had. So there are, and by the way, Oticon is going to be our presenter in May the 13th. So if you want to find out the absolute latest new stuff going on, new technology with Oticon, you don't want to miss this. So it's May 13th. Put that on your calendar. Okay. Anybody else missing out on movies, family parties? Anybody, have you ever not gone to a family function because of your concern about hearing? Anybody? Linda has. You got 2 Lindas sitting next to each other.
We discovered that.
Hi. I have been part of the hearing group ever since. Can you hear me? Okay. Ever since it used to be called SHHH. It went by those initials. And when we tried to present ourselves, we'd go, we're part of SH, and they're going, like, why? What are you saying? We're part of SH. That is, and we would get the most bewildered look on people's faces if we tried to, like, get other people to join or something like that. But I think, so I've been through the hearing aids. I went to the cochlear implants. when I couldn't hear in meetings anymore. And I knew if I wanted to keep my job, I had to hear in the meetings. So I got 2 cochlear implants. And they made a world of difference if your hearing is beyond the strongest hearing aid out there. I've had these implants now for probably, I'm thinking 25 years now. So every 5 years, they come out with some new ones. And they're supposed to come out with a better technology every time. But I wouldn't advise getting cochlear implants unless you just cannot hear with hearing aids anymore. And I wouldn't have got them except for that reason. But I think what I've missed the most through the years is that different organizations used to have closed captioning. And they would, you know, we'd all be seated in a special place, and usually up front. So they would have, for instance, Pageant of the Masters. You know, has anybody been to Pageant of the Masters? Did you hear what they were saying? It means so much more to have that captioning so you can really understand what's going on. I think a lot of people, especially when you get older, you might think you pick up everything, but you don't. And there was also the playhouse in, what is that playhouse in? No, the local, the one over there in.
No, Laguna
The one over there by the museum in Orange County.
Oh, South Coast.
Yeah, South Coast Plaza used to.
No, Gigglestorm. Gigglestorm?
Yeah. But South Coast Plaza, when they would have the wonderful plays, would give us closed captioning on the plays. And I think that, and they would set us down front. Also, if you go on a group tour like Good Time Travels or Hobby Tours, it's so nice if we could have a way to hear what they're actually saying on these tours, you know. So, but that's a small part of the overall picture that we go through with the hearing loss. And I find myself, I depended on my husband too much on the phone when I talk to people. But he has dementia, so I can't depend on him anymore. So now, even though I used to kind of just stay in my cocoon, now I have to get out there again and do everything for myself. All right, thank you.
By the way, Linda, Edna is interested in information about cochlear implants. So if you have a chance to chat afterwards, sure. Edna, you might want to talk to Linda. Very good. And thank you for coming from San Clemente. Yes. And we also have people here from Huntington Beach, Orange, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa. And so, all right. All right. Okay, so I've got another question here. Would you like civic groups or GRF and staff to be trained to understand better and respond to your needs? Okay, I knew, Linda, you were going to jump in there.
Yeah, we've had a conversation about Clubhouse One being renovated, and this is how I got involved with Tony again. I called her to see if Clubhouse One, we have our temple meetings there on Friday, and you can't hear a thing in Clubhouse One. So that clubhouse definitely needs T-coil. And I was wondering if the Disability Act, that federal law, does not cover hearing loss. Because why should all of us not be able to use that law against a company that is running this community of 18,000 people, and a great number of us have hearing losses, and they're not taking that into consideration, but they have ramps, they have everything else, and I think we need teeth when we're going to ask for help when it gets higher up, and that's why I was wondering about Disability Act. Okay.
So the American Disabilities Act does not apply to nonprofit organizations and residential housing communities. But I have some good news for you, Linda. They are going to put a loop in Clubhouse One. I'm not kidding. And they're going to put a loop in Clubhouse 5 and Clubhouse 6. The big room. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I've been Clubhouse 3 and listening to the rabbi and so on and so forth. I put the loop on, and there's really, I cannot get anything more out of it. Maybe because I didn't have my T-coil, maybe because of my hearing aid, the WIDAC is not made for that, for the T-coil. I'm not sure. Okay, go ahead. I give it over to right. But anybody else want to speak up? Please do. I urge you to.
So, okay, I'll let you talk, Linda.
This is just very specific to Clubhouse 3 now. We're our temple. I called up the president of our temple, and I said, you should be advising everybody in the temple that comes to our services on Friday night that the room is looped for T-coil. I explained the whole thing to her. She now, when she sends an email out about the meeting, about the prayers on Friday night, puts something in about the T-coil. But, Randy, on Friday night, I could not hear the rabbi. I thought something was wrong. So today, I thought the meeting was at Clubhouse 3, and it's here. By mistake, I went to Clubhouse 3, and I thought, well, I'm here. I'm going to talk to the technician. And I found out that in Clubhouse 3, Dining Room 2, if you're using a cordless microphone, there's a special setup, and I don't think they're using it because the rabbi I couldn't hear, but I could hear everybody else at the other. So I think that's going to be changed because I'm going to now contact them about this. But it's these little things. It's these little things that you have to bring up and say, I can't hear. Something's wrong. And not give up. That's what we have to all stop doing. If we can't hear, to tell people we can't hear and try to see if something can be done.
So my comment about that is that Dining Room 2, Dining Room 1 in Clubhouse 3, the hearing loop got damaged. It got damaged because they changed the flooring. And they were not even aware of a hearing loop, what it was, or that they damaged it, or whatever. They did the same thing in this room. This is a brand new floor. And I attend other meetings here, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I happened to know the installer, so I called. I talked to the supervisor, who was really great. But you know, they need to be aware of what's going on here and not destroy what was put up. So anyway, so the loop installer had to come and completely reinstall this loop. It works great. So if you have telecoil equipped hearing aids, you should try and flip into your program. If you don't have, I want to be sure everybody, if you if you have hearing aids and you don't know if you have a telecoil, I would like you to get one of these cards, and it says on here, I would like to use my telecoil in a hearing loop or with a neck loop and an assistive listening device. Please write clear instructions on how to use my manually accessible telecoil program. So what's that? That's a heads up for your hearing aid provider to activate the telecoil that's in your hearing aid. The majority of them have a telecoil, but not all of them. So as a matter of fact, let me just show you something here. People say, well, what's a telecoil? Well, let's see here. Okay, so I just described here, Clubhouse 7, main room, has a hearing loop, and those with telecoil-equipped hearing aids can switch T-coil and hear the speaker directly in their hearing aids. It removes the reverberation. There's reverberation in this room. The sound is bouncing off the walls here. It's really not very good. So it removes the background noise. It brings more clarity, and it works through the prescription in your hearing aids. That's wonderful. So we have some devices. Let me just go one more here. This is what a telecoil is. It's a little copper wire. You see up here. You can see with the sizes of them against a dime. That's inside your hearing aid. And there's the dime, and there's a variety of telecoils there that come from different hearing aids. So this is the card I just told you about. I got plenty of them. I had some more printed up. They're on the table. Be sure, if you need to talk to your hearing aid provider, the words are on here. I want to use my telecoil to use in a hearing loop. Oops. And there's even, on the other side, there's help on how to, the different programs that you can have. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you about how I use my telecoil and how it's programmed. Okay. So you can get a loop receiver. Reg, could you get a loop receiver? So if you have hearing aids and you have a telecoil, maybe it's not been activated and programmed yet, you can still use a loop receiver with a headset. Would somebody like to try it right now and see how the so see the two gentlemen? They're just wearing headphones and put the box around their neck. And then the next picture just shows a picture of how it looks when you're wearing it. Now, here's something that you really should know. You can use earbuds with this. You don't have to use a headset. So I suggest get some wired earbuds. The wireless ones won't work. And you can just plug it into the box. Well, that's true. Yes, yeah, you can't put earbuds. Well, there's some people who would forego wearing their hearing aids to use earbuds with the loop. I mean, there's that option. I would never do that. Or if you don't have hearing aids at all, then earbuds would work. So, but every meeting that I have and every clubhouse that has a loop also has loop receivers to use. And there's also something called a neck loop, which is just literally a loop that goes around your neck, and it can plug into the we're talking about the earbuds. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Anybody would like to try it? Would you like to try it, Zora? Okay. Somehow or another, I knew I could get you to try it. So she actually shared with me that there is a particular office that she goes to here in Laguna Woods in the community center, and she needs help hearing. So with your help, we can get something called a portable or a counter loop installed. We have the resident services. Can you hear everybody when you stand in line? Can you hear them when they call your name? I mean, it's very difficult. It's very noisy in there. Several people are, yeah. So there's something that's called a counter loop. Now they'd have to buy one, but they should definitely have one at the reception desk in the community center. And there's and the alterations department. They should have 2 or 3 of these at the reception desk, and then if a department needs it, they could just come and borrow it for the clientele. But here's the thing: you need to ask for that. You need to talk about your hearing loss to the staff. So this is the one thing that we could get Laguna Woods staff involved and get them prepared. Now they should have this counter loop at the Performing Arts Center in the ticket counter. All you have to do is to walk up to that. That'll be sitting on the counter, and you walk up to it and put on your telecoil, and the person talks on the back side of that, just talks into the back side. They don't have to do anything, like maybe turn it on if they don't leave it on. And you can hear right through the telecoil, right through your hearing aid. Somebody else want to try it?
How much does a portable loop cost?
Oh, how much are they?
Yes.
I think they retail for about $300 for a counter loop. Oh, it's kind of bulky. Well, how would you use it?
I mean, when I'm having people at my house, sometimes, and we're having dinner, I can't hear the people talking. If I had something like this, how would that use? And I put it at the other side of the table or whatever, and I put my...
What kind of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone, and I have a paired, so I hear very, very well. My landline, I don't hear at all.
Do you have your iPhone with
Yeah, I do.
the app
Say that again.
installed? Can you show it? Can you show us? So, well, I have. There's an app. Okay, so I have it here. I have an Android, and watch what it says. It's hearing everything that I say, and this is AI.
How do you do that?
It's a free app on Android. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ella.
It must be on the iPhone.
Okay, on iPhone there is a live transcribe. I think it's live transcribe. However, there is a fee for it. Vicki, how much did you say it was? $60 a year? Okay. She said it's about $60 a year. And I did not think that it worked as good as the Android version, but she showed me hers. It's robust. So you know what I do with mine? That's the lady in the back, yeah. So what I do, I take my phone everywhere with me. So if I'm at the bank teller and I don't understand, I put it on, and I take it to the doctor's office. Ann caught me in church. And so this really works great. Yeah. Well, what I did for church, because I used to have a friend. She moved back to Oklahoma, but I have it on my Android, my Samsung tablet. And so what's really nice about this, and it's quick and easy to get it started.
Excuse me.
So I just had it on my lap. And so I shared it with another hard of hearing friend, and we were both and it picked up everything from the PA system in the church. It's a really great assist. That's really great. This is the one that I have on my phone, and there's one that it's a similar name, and it's on the Apple. And if you had an iPad, you could put it on your iPad too.
So it picks up your voice and then any other voice from whoever's talking.
Well, why don't you oops,
Yeah, no,
why don't you say something?
I had no idea that there was something. I had no idea that something like this existed, except Randy has something like this.
Well, what she's doing is she's putting that on her phone. If you look at you didn't get the agenda?
Okay.
Let me see the agenda. If you take your iPhone and put it on here.
And take a picture.
Okay, it'll take, no, yeah, well, it'll recognize it, and then there'll be a link, and you click on it, and then it'll take you right to the website, and you'll start getting captions that we have right here in the room. Yeah. Bridge, can you bring an agenda over here for me, please? An agenda? Yeah. Sorry you missed it. Anybody else miss getting an agenda?
So that agenda with the QR code.
Yes.
Okay, okay. You take a picture of the QR code.
You don't actually take a picture. Just hover your phone over the QR code, and it will recognize it. It'll be one of two ways. I have to switch back and forth. I need another mic. I'm working on it.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's called Stream Text. Okay. Anyway, he's.
This is a miracle. I mean, this is.
Welcome to the Hearing Well Club. Okay. Are we out of agendas? Okay, here we go. Well, you know, not everybody knows what a QR code is, but you're learning. There's new technology all the time. Do you have another one, Bridge? Okay. Okay, yes. Yes, Linda.
Tony, I'd just like to add a suggestion before the meeting ends. You know, a lot of people don't want to talk in a big group about their individual hearing losses and stuff. I would like to see support groups set up for like cochlear people support group, different kinds of hearing aid support groups, because you can learn a lot more from other people that are more techie than you, And so if we had those small support groups that people wanted to stay after a meeting and talk about a problem they have with their hearing aid or their cochlear, I think that would help a lot. I went online to find a support group for cochlear implants. I couldn't find any. They're not out there anymore.
No, and when we were running pre-pandemic, I used to have cochlear representatives, different companies come, and there was this one lady who used to set up a whole meeting for Cochlear America users and have a users meeting. So, you know, I'll try to do that again. It'll be separate from an everyday meeting. Yeah. Okay. So Daniel, I'm bringing the microphone to you.
An area that maybe you haven't covered is television and listening to it. I know I got my hearing aids about a year ago, the new ones, and Ann talked me into getting a sender from the television to my Bluetooth, and the end result was that I got much better clarity from the sound. The only problem with that is that you have to have an optical outlet in the back, because it cuts off the speakers themselves and it goes directly to you and nobody else can hear it. So my neighbors don't have any complaints. But it does add to the clarity substantially.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like people to know, certain people, about you, your hearing loss, and your hearing aids? Is there something that you would like to share, not necessarily with this group, but people outside of this room? Is there anything that you would like to share?
I would like to share with GRF, so they have some sensitivity to the great number of people in Laguna Woods who have a hearing loss, and they don't, and they have no idea what we're going through. So I don't know how to do that, but I think we have to do this in this community of all communities, for them not to have the loop and to have to force everything is outrageous. We are disabled as other people are disabled, and they have to be more sensitive.
Yeah, 75%. Let's see, I have the numbers here somewhere. Let me just see if I can find this here. I have the exact numbers. I talked to social services who got some figures from GRF. GRF. Oh, maybe I didn't bring it with me. Oh, yes. I have gone, this is pre-pandemic, I've gone to many GRF meetings. I've gone to community activity meetings. I've gone to maintenance and construction committees. You have to go all these steps to have a loop done. Once we got a few done, now I've got the recreation department cheering for us and helping us. And we have some board members. The boardroom is looped. So the board members are using it in the loop. And so when it comes to approving a loop, they try very hard to do that. They got to put it in the budget. They still have to go through their, the appropriate steps. But, okay. 50% of those who are 75 or older have a disabling hearing loss. This is coming from NIH, the National Institutes for Deafness. And under 25% of those aged 65 to 74 are nearly 25%. 50% of those who are 75 and older have disabling hearing loss. So we have a lot of hearing loss here because the average age, according to social services, is 77. And my argument to them is that even though legally they didn't have to provide accessibility, provide loops, they should want to do that. Just for the same reason they provide parking spaces and wheelchair ramps, and rails in the bathroom. And that's something that, I have a bad leg, and some days it's worse than others. And I have a hard time getting up after sitting down, and I need those rails, and a lot of them don't have them. So that's another complaint that I have. But it's not going to get done. Nothing is going to get done unless we start talking about it to them. And so when it comes to GRF, when it comes to the staff here, the supervisor in this building here, he's wonderful. He's been so supportive, and he'll never, ever let anybody touch this floor again and destroy the hearing loop. Did you have something, Ann?
We know that technology continues to advance and change. The T-coil is extremely effective for the hearing impaired, but just so you know, there is a new large venue ability coming out called Auracast, and it is for large venues, and it works through Bluetooth technology. So there are going to be different ways, independent of the T-coil, to be able to reach people for improving comprehension in large venues. And so that is something that is going to be rolled out, I believe this year, starting in June, July. But when you start to go to churches and places like that, you'll be able to connect into your Bluetooth of your hearing aid to be able to get assistance. So it's going to be, we'll see, which is, nothing's better than the loop, but as far as large venue, I think that's what we're going to start to see.
So stay with me here, because you're going to help me with some history. The telecoil has been around since 1932. And it was used originally for coupling with a telephone. You used to have magnetic material in the phone. That's back when Pacific Bell and GTE used to manufacture, and they were the only games in town. And so all their phones were telecoil-equipped phones. And if they didn't have a telecoil, they actually had something you could tape on there. Do you remember that, Linda? You don't remember that. I vaguely remember. But anyway, it's been around forever, and it's very economical. It doesn't cost that much to put that little copper thing, well, the manufacturers. I mean, I don't know why they would ever want to discontinue it, because there are so many hearing loops. And in this community, we have St. Nicholas Church is now looped. The Presbyterian Church is looped. The Lutheran Church is looped. And Pacific Hope, it's next to Starbucks, or it's across from
St. George?
Pete's. St. George is not looped.
Doug was telling me that it is.
It's St. George's is looped? It is? Wow. All right. I need to put that on my list. Okay. So and there's churches that are in Mission Viejo that are looped, and anytime I find out about it, I try to put it on the website, and you can look at the venues and see what's what.
Even the Chase Bank right on El Toro and Paseo de Valencia has a looped window. And so I walked in and I said, oh, because they have the sign. I said, do you know how to use that? And they said, we've all been trained. So there is a window at the Chase Bank for the hearing impaired with the loop sign up. So Linda, when you were asking about the loop at your house, remember, and just to kind of tie this up because we're at the end of our time, but the microphone has to be connected to the loop for the system to work. So when you're in Clubhouse 3 and you're at the Performing Arts, if they come and bring their own sound system and they don't use the sound system of Laguna Woods, you're not going to be able to use the T-coil. And just like you went and tried to use the T-coil, but the switch wasn't turned on, right? So there's different things that will just don't assume because the sign is there that it's working.
I think from what you're saying, we're a very small group here. There's a very large group of people in Laguna Woods Village that can't hear. If you went on the television station and both of you and talked about this, so people are talking more about their hearing loss and seeing that they don't have to live this way, that there's things around. I mean, what you just showed us, this is like, I can't believe I didn't even know about this. There's help, and if you go on Channel 6, it would be such a wonderful thing for people in the outside that aren't here to know that there's so much help for them.
Yeah, and I have, and so has Anne. Anne has been interviewed many times, and I've been, but that was back when Ken was, so that was pre-pandemic. So
this is different. This morning, somebody was on an audiologist was on this day, whatever it's called, and he was talking about hearing aids. I'm talking about everything else you're talking about. I'm talking about all the things beyond hearing aids and what can be done. So I think that that's important because then it doesn't, I mean, when I heard him, I said, this is like a commercial for him. I'm not talking about a commercial. I'm talking about information that can help people, not where to go to get it necessarily, not a commercial.
yeah, I'd be willing to do that, but I'd want to point them to these meetings.
But you will, by telling them the little things you just told us today, you pull them in because people don't know what they don't know. They have no idea.
That's absolutely right. Okay. I'm so glad you came too. And you'll continue coming, right? Because you're going to get a little tidbit, something that's going to really help you out every time.
You have so much information, and we need the information, not just hearing aids. We need all of this information.
And exactly. But, I could sit here and give you a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't want to overwhelm everybody. So, okay. What? Donations. Okay. Yep. Where's the donation jar? So, okay, technology isn't cheap. This room isn't cheap. And if you enjoyed this meeting, if you learned something in this meeting, and if you would like to give back, we would like to receive. There we go. All right. You take care of you stay with the donation. Okay. Can you guys have like a few more minutes? Okay, Anne, we're going to say goodbye to Anne. Okay. I would like to share something with you from. Okay. Okay. Juliet Sturkins is works and volunteers partially and works for the Hearing Loss Association. And she is an audiology representative for Hearing Loops. And she was asked to speak at a TED Talks. So I'm going to play this. This is, if you have to leave in the minute or you're not getting anything out of it, I will say goodbye, but I do want to play it. Oh, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do this another time because it's not hooked up here. I don't have the right hookups. Okay, sorry. Anyway, it's an excellent, I didn't realize it didn't get hooked up. So I want to thank you all for coming. Next month, yes, Daniel? Wait. Nobody? You need the microphone. Hold on. Take a cookie when you leave.
It would be helpful if we all invited other people to come to the next meeting so we can grow this organization.
And if you want your friend to know about this AI captioning, you could ask me in the meeting if I would show it. Even if it's not on the program, I'll do it for you. Okay, so I think that's it. Anybody want to make any last comments? Thank you. Okay, Oticon, the latest, greatest, the newest technology available right now for hearing aids, and that'll be May the 13th, 1:30 social, 2 o'clock meeting starts. I'd like to see you all here. Right here in this room, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Daniel, for setting up the coffee and the water, Reg for greeting, and Alan for working the camera. And I really appreciate, if anybody does graphic, can do simple flyers, that would be helpful. I'd love to get flyers that get distributed in the clubhouses. But I can't do everything all the time, so need some help.